Welcome to part two. We'll move on to December. Some bad results at the beginning of December. Blackpool 1-0. Crystal Palace, a game we should have won. How were you feeling about Gigi Di Canio at the beginning of December?
Gigi, I think to be fair to him, he hadn't been in the job very long, had he? The Blackpool game, that was the one game that I've missed so far this season, so
okay.
I didn't miss
but
too much
Crystal
there.
Palace,
But
Scunthorpe 2-2, Wolves 0-0,
yeah,
not really.
I think both the Crystal Palace games, they were games really that we should have won, nailed on, both there and at home. And I think the most disappointed I've been so far really this season is the home game when we let that slip the way we did. I was very disappointed about that one.
Yeah, and what did you do with it?
I've got to be honest with you, and I will go on record, and I don't mind saying it, but when he was first appointed, as much as obviously I wanted to give the guy an opportunity, and you don't get like 3 or 4 or 5 games and then help sack him, which some people were suggesting, but I had my doubts, purely because, how no one really knew a great deal about him, and obviously his lack of English. And I was just a little bit dubious about the whole thing. But at the time, I think obviously I was a bit more tolerant and patient because I was starting to see that there was an attempt to play better football. And I think with the comforting fact knowing that hopefully we're bringing in better players, I was starting to become a little bit concerned because I thought we might be quite adrift at the bottom of the table coming in December. But when we beat Burnley away 2-0, I turned around to a friend that night and said, this is the turning point for QPR season. Without doubt, this one result we'll look back at the end of the season and say, that when did all our fortunes change, and that was when we beat Burnley. Because not only did we win and get 1 goal, we went and got another goal and kept a clean sheet, and I thought this could really spur the team on.
And then since then, obviously, we've beaten Watford, beaten Leicester, beaten Barnsley. So the record over Christmas, apart from the disastrous last-minute one at Plymouth, has not been bad. Just briefly, what about the players that we had in December that are now gone? Players like Sinclair, Sahar, big disappointment. Is there anybody that left then that's been a bit of a disappointment to you?
Sahar, I couldn't understand that actually, Pete, because when he played in the Fulham friendly pre-season, and he looked really brilliant. He looked up for it, the goals that he scored, and I couldn't quite understand it about him, how he didn't quite work out for him there for us. Sinclair, I think he had a couple of reasonable games, shall we say, but again I couldn't quite understand it about him. What happened with him either, really. He didn't exactly set it alight at our place, did he?
No, he didn't.
I couldn't.
He almost seemed a frustrated striker playing on the wing.
Yeah.
He didn't look to me like an orthodox winger, someone like we've seen with Lee Cook or even Hogan Ephraim to an extent.
Yeah.
He just wanted to get the ball and just run as fast as he could, and he had bags of pace, amazing raw pace.
Yeah.
But I was a bit disappointed. I think both of them overall.
That brings in the subject of a game. Let's talk about where we were on the day that we got the where you were doing when we got Chelsea. Obviously, there's another point of on the pleasant side. I mean, did you hear it live, Richard? Or?
Unbelievably, every year without fail, I look forward to the third round draw on television and sit there waiting for QPR's name to come out. And I was out that day, and I completely forgot about it until I suddenly got a text message from a mate of mine who supports Fulham, telling me that we're playing Chelsea, and I was like, oh my God, we're playing Chelsea. I just wanted us to play a team that we had a chance to get through to the next round and have a bit of a cut run. And at the time, bearing in mind results and the way they're going, I don't think, I don't know how many people were optimistic we were going to beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and I just thought, oh God. And if it was a year ago, I'd have been more happy about the draw because we really desperately needed the money.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even a case of the money so much now. It was more about getting a run together, and so I wasn't that actually happy about the draw.
What happened with me was I was on the... my son had rung me, just talking to me out of the blue, and I'd missed the first 10 teams that come out, and I was waiting. He'd phoned me up exactly the point that Chelsea came out, and I said, look, you're going to have to shut up a minute. He was telling me why I'm to shut up. I just hope we get them. So from my point of view, I was happy to have got them. To me, though, the day was an anticlimax. And what about your feelings and what were you doing on the date of that Chelsea draw?
The day of the draw, we were actually watching the draw live. We were in the living room, and Chelsea came out, and our number hadn't come out, and we were like, oh, come on. And our number came out, and we were like jumping around the living room, kind of thing, going mad for about 20 seconds, and then suddenly it dawned on us, and we were like, oh no, Chelsea!
Yeah.
I really wanted Fulham at home, actually.
Did you?
I really
Someone
wanted
like
to play Fulham at home because I
Yeah.
feel we would have stuffed them, and that would have been great.
Let's talk about, obviously, we're now in a situation where we've got players in. If you briefly talk about the players and maybe the positives of the players that have come in, I don't know if you want to, first of all, Tracy, the players that might do well or you think will do well, your overall feeling about the signings?
My overall feeling, I wasn't too overly concerned about any player in particular signing. The only player I was overly concerned about was Kozaki.
With that, you didn't think he would sign, or you didn't think
There
he'd do
was,
very well?
there was a point, I think it was January 1st, was it, after the Leicester game, and he came over at some stage and I thought, hang on, what's going on here? And then it all went quiet. And then he did an interview on QPR World and it sounded a little bit iffy to me, and I thought, he's staying with us.
Yeah.
Please stay, please,
Yeah.
please sign, please.
I think he's been diplomatic.
Yeah. And what about
Yeah.
yourself with the players?
You know what? Actually, overall, all the players generally we've signed. What I like is there's an undertone of the fact that the players have something. They've all got something to prove. Whether it be 18-year-old Matthew Connolly, who's obviously a youngster, never felt he's getting a chance at Arsenal, got something to prove. Even Gavin Milne, who's 30, he feels he didn't get. He was given the rough end of the stick at so Watford, got something to prove, which I like because they've all got something to prove, and I just hope they keep that desire and hunger.
Yeah, because obviously players now got long-term contracts. Any brief comments on those? I mean, do you think 4.5-year deals are the in thing?
I don't know about that really, Pete. 4.5 years. Which place have got 4.5
Well,
years?
Fitzhall won. I think, I could be wrong here, but I think hasn't Rowan Vine got a 4.5-year deal? Bistaki's got 2.5.
It just sounds a bit strange. It just does sound a long time.
Adjimang's got 4.5.
Yeah.
It sounds a long time, but if we're building the foundation for a team to go up and to stay up, then it could well be that Gigi at the moment, he's looking at players that he feels might be able to take us that step up, and then maybe possibly will make that step forward as we go up as well.